The main event, a one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing from Los Angeles, California, weighing 323 pounds, Big John Studd. From Omaha, Nebraska, weighing 346 pounds, the Missouri State Champion, Ted DiBiase. Referee Lee Warren.
Big John Studd. He demanded this opportunity, and he has it now against the Missouri State Champion, Ted DiBiase. Studd, 6'9", 300.
People are going to find out how tough I am now.
Studd says, tell the people you're going to find out how tough I am now. All 323 pounds of him. Hey, you punk, says Studd to DiBiase. Studd has been at verbal war with promoter Sam Muchnick because he hasn't gotten an opportunity in main events yet. He says, you're forcing me into tag matches. You're trying to hide the big stars from me. The stars are running. The Studd misses. That hard smash, what would have been a hard smash if DiBiase had been there. Ted DiBiase, they're calling him the uncrowned world champion.
I told you he's afraid of me.
He's afraid of me, says Big John Studd.
That's why he's walking around the ring looking at Mr. Ted DiBiase.
Yeah, let's have him keep his attention on Mr. DiBiase instead of you and me, Mick.
Ah, you better believe that.
He is awesome, frightening, menacing. Studd forces DiBiase to the ropes. Lee Warren trying to break him up, and once more DiBiase sidesteps the punch of Big John Studd, and Studd glares at DiBiase. DiBiase clenches his fist. He says, if you want to box, I'll go that route. The Missouri State Champion, Ted DiBiase. The pressure is on him now after what happened with Harley Race. People like Big John Studd and many others after him, and DiBiase pound. Studd briefly in the hair. Lee Warren right on top of the situation. Up the headlock. That didn't work. DiBiase trying to force Studd forward so that his size isn't as big a difference. Studd trying to squeeze DiBiase. And there it is, the Missouri State title belt. It belongs to Ted DiBiase by virtue of victory over Ken Patera, as DiBiase is just manhandled by Studd, who charges in and misses with that charge. Drop kick by DiBiase, knocks Studd into the corner. DiBiase to the air. Oh, way up in the air, flying head scissors by DiBiase on Studd. Believe me, you have to fly to get up there to get Big John. He's 6'9".
Boy, it was like being on the arch that time.
Oh, and if he'd have missed, he would have landed out about Kings Highway in Lindell. He would have landed in the lobby of the Chase Hotel.
Right there.
Right on top of Ed Merchant or somebody in the Chase Hotel. Look out, Ed. They're taken to the air here in the KPLR studio. It's Ted DiBiase and Big John Studd. You talk about great rivalries. Well, it looks like one is maybe nearing some sort of climax because Sam Muchnick has finally managed to land Dick Murdoch against King Kong Brody. Talk about big news and talk about a wild affair that will be. Murdoch's been complaining that Brody is hiding from him, running from him, hiding behind tag team partners like Andre the Giant and Dick the Bruiser. His complaint much the same as Big John Studd. But now Murdoch and Brody can settle it head to head, one-on-one. A main event, Murdoch and Brody, as Studd uses the tights to try and get the shoulders of DiBiase down. Can you imagine what a war that will be? Brody will go through a concrete wall to get a Dick Murdoch. He won't have to do it because they're both going to be inside that ring alone. Murdoch and Brody, this is it. Settle it now, boys. Dick Murdoch and King Kong Brody. It's DiBiase with the side headlock on Big John Studd. You remember that Murdoch and Brody were once a very efficient tag team combination. But Murdoch, he's not the easiest guy in the world to live with. He's ended up with more enemies than friends. I can guarantee you that in tag team matches. But Brody is one enemy who won't go away. He won't be satisfied until he crushes Murdoch. And now the opportunity is at hand. Flying tackle. Oh, look out, Ted. Flying tackles don't work too well on Big John Studd. Oh, back rolling cradle might. Try for a pin, and Studd pushes DiBiase away. Oh, DiBiase charged in, and Studd was waiting. Caught him with a blast to the stomach. DiBiase hurled to the ropes by Big John, and he bangs the elbow into the top of Ted DiBiase's head. DiBiase might be a little quicker than Stud, but I'll tell you that Stud can use his head too. He has good ring instincts. Don't forget, he was trained by Killer Kowalski. Stud lifting DiBiase to the air for a tremendous body slam. Ted DiBiase has been rattled by Big John Stud, who tries to line up the back, I guess. He comes up behind DiBiase and slams those meaty forearms into the back of DiBiase.
5 minutes have passed, 15 minutes left.
Stud lifts DiBiase high into the air for the atomic knee drop, slamming the tailbone into his own knee. This could be it for DiBiase, and oh, it was close. Big John Stud nearly polished off DiBiase right there. Stud is ready, and let me tell you, DiBiase may have the battle of his life on his hands right now against Big John. Look at those forearms and biceps on Big John. He's just huge. He's huge all over. I'll tell you, and he's in such good proportion. So well built, I don't think you realize the size of the man until you stand next to him, until you see those huge hands. But the only guy bigger is Andre the Giant. You can see right there, he really dwarfs Ted DiBiase. And Ted's about 6'4", 6'5", comes in around 245 pounds. But Big John Stud, oh, that's something else. He's huge. He's a mountain of a man. DiBiase bridging up. Whoa! Forearm smashed by Stud. DiBiase keeps his balance. Not the second time, though. Stud pounds him back down with legal forearm smashes. Look at that fist clench right up against the face of DiBiase, pushing the cheek in, twisting the nose. Big John Stud. A little smile on his face. He knows that right now he's in command, that he's shaking Ted DiBiase, and Big John Stud. If he could beat DiBiase, as far as he's concerned, I guess, it's like beating the world champion. He saw that match between Race and DiBiase. And you know what happened between Race and DiBiase has a lot of other wrestlers even hotter on the trail of Race, because they say, boy, he is ready for the picking now. People like Big John Stud, like Dick Murdoch, like King Kong Brody, like Dick the Bruiser, like the Funks, like Jack Briscoe, like Rocky Johnson, like so many more, like Ken Patera. Now, more than ever, the pressure is on Harley Race. Everybody wants a crack at Race. Dusty Rhodes is after him. I'll tell you, the pressure on Race is immense, but the pressure on Ted DiBiase is just as much. Especially right now, because he's in with one of the biggest and the meanest of them all, Big John Stud. There's a beautiful bridge by DiBiase. Oh! What a bridge against Stud by DiBiase, trying to pull the hands off his chin, trying to turn his way out. DiBiase slipping the head through. An elbow smash to the stomach. Another elbow smash to the stomach. Here comes DiBiase. Flying tackle. Down goes Stud. DiBiase managed to drop him. DiBiase ducks away. Oh, the drop kick missed. The drop kick by Ted DiBiase missed. Big John Stud outmaneuvered DiBiase. Flying elbow drop to the back by Big John. He covers DiBiase, count of 1. At 2, DiBiase gets away, but Stud's right back on top of him. Big John Stud in control against Ted DiBiase. DiBiase had gotten out of trouble for a second, but Stud, showing he's more than just size, managed to elude the drop kick, and DiBiase took a hard spill when he missed that drop kick. Stud pulling back on DiBiase's head. Lee Warren checking. It's not a strangle. It's dangerously close, but it's not. You can see the pressure up underneath the jaw of DiBiase. DiBiase having the blood really cut off to his head, the way his head is twisted, and the way his neck is being squeezed by Big John Stud, a former collegiate basketball star. He's filled out quite a bit since those days, though. Constant weight work. He's a dedicated weightlifter. Almost every day he's in that gym pumping iron. Big John has the power, no question about that. DiBiase trying to force his way to his feet. Stud leaning on him, trying to wear DiBiase down. That's something Stud can do against almost any opponent. DiBiase to his feet, the crowd watching intently. DiBiase with a blast to the stomach. DiBiase and Stud pound on each other. DiBiase hits the ropes. Throws a forearm smash over the top, a slash to the throat. Stud gouges the eyes of Ted DiBiase. Stud whips DiBiase to the rope. Up, look out! Jackknife, cradle! This could be shoulders are free, and Stud manages to lift those shoulders and at the same time bang his boot into the head of Ted DiBiase. Stud kicks DiBiase away, buying himself some time to get over onto his knees. Both men cautious. DiBiase knows he's in a battle. No room for error, no margin for mistake between Stud and DiBiase.
10 minutes have elapsed, 10 minutes left.
Cautiously, very cautiously, DiBiase reaches out. Stud daring him to lock hands. He does. Stud charges in with a knee lift to the stomach. An elbow smash to the neck, and DiBiase shaken again. Big John Stud, more than a handful so far for the Missouri State champion. Stud pounds on the back of Ted DiBiase. Remember, Stud's favorite is that hanging backbreaker. DiBiase pushes the ropes. Oh, he comes off backwards, that back exposed, and Stud bangs home the forearm to the lower back of Ted DiBiase. And I think the crowd here is starting to sense that DiBiase is really getting into trouble. Backbreaker, the backbreaker by Big John Stud. He's manhandling the Missouri champion. DiBiase got that shoulder up. He's in trouble. He's got to turn this thing around if he can, because Stud is slowly but surely wearing him down. Oh, the whip is reversed. Stud hits the corner. DiBiase, here's his chance. He hurls Stud across the ring, charges. Oh, it misses. He went right through the ropes and hit the steel ring post. DiBiase trying a flying tackle in the corner. Stud got out of the way, and DiBiase hit the ring post. Oh, he's in trouble now, if he's ever been in trouble in his life. Big John Stud got out of the way, and DiBiase hit the ring post. Stud grabs DiBiase, pulling him up onto the apron, suspending him backwards, and slams that forearm into Ted DiBiase. The Missouri State champion kicked off the apron by massive John Stud. The crowd boos at Big John. But DiBiase is in real trouble now. And I have to tell you, so far, Stud is backing up his word. DiBiase up on the apron. Stud grabs him there. Again, bends him backwards and slams that forearm into the chest. A knee into the back. DiBiase hung up on the ropes, and Stud battering DiBiase. Stud just battering DiBiase. Lee Warren trying to control Big John Stud. The count is 20, and Ted DiBiase may need it all. In fact, he may still be out there at 20. In that case, Big John Stud's going to be the winner. DiBiase up on his knees now. He's standing, he's holding that shoulder that hit the ring post. Stud right there. Look out. DiBiase grabs Stud's leg, and he slams Stud's leg down across the apron. Again, DiBiase slamming the leg of Stud over the apron. He's tying him up around that steel ring post, and he rams the knee of Big John Stud into the steel ring post. DiBiase now Stud in trouble. That knee always vulnerable no matter how big you are. And DiBiase tears into Stud. Down goes Big John. DiBiase, the leg snap, yanking out that hamstring. Big John Stud, the hamstring snapped by Ted DiBiase after his knee was slammed into the ring post. The body drop into the knee, and you know what DiBiase is thinking about here. He's thinking about the figure 4 leg lock. Again, DiBiase steps inside and snaps the leg. Now even the shins, the tendons coming down the front of the knee, aching on Big John Stud. He spins, going for the figure 4, but he's kicked away and out of the ring by Big John Stud. Talk about power with one leg. Stud kicked DiBiase right out of the ring. Stud crawling through the ropes. Big John Stud going out of the ring and after Ted DiBiase. He slams DiBiase into a chair. Big John Stud slamming DiBiase into a chair outside the ring, and again trying to ram him into another chair. Stud and DiBiase battling outside the ring. We have a Donnybrook. It's Stud and DiBiase outside the ring. Stud slammed headfirst into the apron. DiBiase grabbed the chair. DiBiase grabbed the chair. Oh, and he clobbers Stud over the head with the chair. Stud still won't quit. Both men outside the ring. The match is being stopped. They're outside the ring 20 seconds. They're trying to restore order. Stud slammed into the steps. Big John, look out! and then into the press table. Stud battering DiBiase outside the ring. And I have to tell you, DiBiase, he's trying to go out after Stud. He's going with a chair out towards the dressing room. The referees, the guards, the police trying to restrain him. Lee Warren, both been counted out.
Been counted out. A draw.
Both counted out. We'll make it official. And hear from Mickey Garagiola, who'll be going into the ring and give us an official call. What a Donnybrook. The Missouri State title belt will be returned to Ted DiBiase. But I'll tell you, that was a war. Here's Mickey.
Referee Lee Warren declares this match a draw.
Big John Studd said if he ever got a chance in St. Louis at some of the big stars alone, one-on-one, he would make them pay. And, John, I have to admit, you gave Ted DiBiase all he could handle.
Absolutely. You know, a couple weeks ago, a week ago, a month ago, I don't even remember when, but I saw Ted DiBiase beat Harley Race right in the Q Auditorium. Am I right or wrong? He beat him right there. Now, I want to wrestle Ted DiBiase. I met him right here in the ring. He gave me his best. He did everything he could to try to stop John Studd, but he came short. Whatever he did, I countered. When he tried to get tough, I got tougher. When he tried to get strong, I got stronger. Now I want another match with DiBiase. I don't want it. I'm demanding it.
Well, I have to admit that everybody said, well, Big John Studd, he's just big, but you proved different. You outmaneuvered him a couple of times in the drop kick and on that flying tackle he missed.
I'm big, I'm strong, but I know how to wrestle, and I know how to beat punks like DiBiase. But DiBiase, when I meet you again, if ever, if you have the guts to meet me in the ring, you've got to put up your Missouri State title, you understand, punk? I'm not just going to step in the ring for a good sweat. I want your title. I want something worth beating you for, punk.
And I have to know, Big John, that you're thinking, too, if you can take the Missouri title from DiBiase, that could mean Harley Race next.
Let's put it this way. There's no ifs, ands, or thans about it. I can beat DiBiase. And, brother, when I saw the licking that DiBiase gave Race, I know I can beat Harley Race. There's no doubt about it. I am the new NWA champion. It's just a matter of time, Harley Race. And the #1 contender is Ted DiBiase. Well, Race, you can go to bed and sleep with peace because I am going to get rid of Ted DiBiase for you. You won't have to worry about DiBiase. But when you're sleeping, Harley Race, you're going to have a nightmare. You're going to dream about John Studd coming down your back, smashing you right in the middle of the ring. Could I beat him with the backbreaker? That's what I'm going to beat you with, DiBiase. It's the backbreaker right on my shoulders. What do you got to say about that?
Well, doesn't it worry you that DiBiase has plenty of weapons, too, like the figure 4 leg lock? He almost had you with that figure 4.
Hey, everybody knows almost only counts in hand grenades and horseshoes. Ted DiBiase went for it, and he ended up eating dirt on the floor with my big size 15 boots smashing his face.
So the challenge has been thrown down. You want DiBiase one more time.
There's no doubt about it. I want you, DiBiase. I want you. And I'm going to beat you. I'm going to be the new Missouri State champion. And then from there, I'm going to climb up another notch in the ladder. And I'm going to be the new heavyweight champion of the world. You're looking at the biggest, the meanest, and the best right here.
Big John Studd. So far, he's lived up to his words. Big John Studd. We'll be back with more in just one moment.